Friends, let me ask you this morning, have you ever made a decision before? And you made that decision not because that's what you wanted to do, but because that's what other people wanted you to do? Maybe you thought, yeah, I really want to do this, but I wasn't sure. And you did what they wanted to do, and the reason you did it was because you didn't want to rock the boat, or you didn't want to cause a problem, or you didn't want to ruin a relationship, or you didn't want to get kicked out of your social circle. You know, sometimes you and I, we find ourselves in situations where we know exactly what to do, but for some reason we have a hard time doing it. And if we're honest with ourselves, the reason we have a hard time doing it is because we recognize that in some sense that decision is going to cost us. Sometimes it's going to cost us our reputation. Sometimes it's going to cost us our social status. Sometimes it's going to cost us our access or money or a relationship. In other words, the reason we end up doing what other people want us to do instead of doing what we know we should do is because we convince ourselves that the cost is simply too high. But you know what? Here's where the second lesson for our series comes into play, which is this. Take a look. That living a life of wisdom means doing the right thing, even when it costs you. In other words, living a life of wisdom means that we recognize that when we do something or don't do something, that it's going to cost us, but we end up doing it or don't doing it anyways because it's the right thing to do. For example, to reconcile with a family member or your spouse, that comes at a cost, but it's the right thing to do. Or cutting off an unhealthy relationship, that comes at a cost, but it's the right thing to do. Or how about this, speaking up for an injustice that you see in the world today, that comes at a cost, but it's the right thing to do. Or moving away from a sinful habit, something you know that you shouldn't be doing, that comes at a cost, but it's the right thing to do. Or friends, even coming alongside somebody who has a need and you're working to meet, that comes at a cost. But at the end of the day, it's the right thing to do.